There we go. Boys. I don't know what I'm saying. Here we go. Waxophone. Let's see. How free to play friendly is Wuthering Waves? Let's watch this.
Register for Wuthering Waves down below.
We did that already.
When the first man stepped foot on the moon, it was a great feat for mankind. Leaving the first ever footprint of a human being on some random space rock other than the Earth is just one of many pieces of history we'll have to look back on for as long as we exist. This is not to be confused with your digital footprint, which you'll want to erase immediately after you see Inland for the first time. At this point, you may be praying to a god you don't believe in that
Dude,
she's
she
free
is
to
so
play.
hot.
And if so,
Holy.
I'll let you live in blissful ignorance. But on the topic of free to play, everyone's wondering about if Wuthering Waves is going to be a free to play friendly game on release.
To be honest, I don't even think it matters if it's free to play friendly. People are still gonna whale the hell out of this game. It's like, especially since it's gonna be a Genshin competitor. I think that's just the truth.
Gacha games have a horrific history of power creeping every single patch and making the main character in free-to-play cast useless towards the latter half of the game. Well, I'm here to deliver.
Except Pela. And who else? Pela, is that it? Pela and Bronya. I mean, well, I guess Bronya got power crep too. So never mind, he's right.
A child, and that child's name is good news. In the sea of gacha games that all have specific stat-based.
Punishing Grey Raven, dude. Isn't that by the same? Isn't that by Kuro Games? I swear it is. Punishing Grey Ravens. Isn't that by also Kuro, which is made by whoever? Yeah, yes. Yeah, whether yes. Okay. I feel like I should play that at one point.
Mechanics that require you to grind every single day, Wuthering Waves brings something brand new to the table. The actual skill expression. In Wuthering Waves, you have parries.
Dude, that combat looks so sick. Oh my god.
New to the table. The actual skill expression. In Wuthering Waves, you have parries, perfect dodges, and quick time events
There's
that make
parries? Perfect dodges? So it's like Dark Souls of Gacha? Hell yeah. Dark Souls of
the game
Gacha.
feel more like a AAA combat experience than what you're probably used to with gacha games. But with that said,
I'm gonna finish the sentence. That said, people are, oh my god, there's gonna be so many kids crying about, I can't beat this boss. It's just like Dark Souls. I can't do it. Please help. This game sucks. Genshin Impact is a lot better than Wuthering Waves because the combat is more refined and better.
it's still a gacha game. There are still different characters, daily quests and rewards, stamina limits, gearing, and gameplay elements to think about. So first off, I want to talk about the characters. So that way you can get an idea of who's going to be smashed by
combat's going to be annoying for just casual people.
A giant monkey. When you get started with Wuthering Waves, you get to choose between the classic isekai protagonist or the best looking female main character design in gacha history. Your free-to-play roster will consist of real protagonist, fake protagonist, Pokemon trainer, skill issue, midriff, and Discord mod. Sanhua is insane, is what I would say if I could see. Unfortunately, I have to play this game with my monitors off so that way I can make the game more challenging. She's from the 7-day starting login event, and she's probably the 3rd or 4th best damage dealer in the game, with Dungeon coming out in 2nd place for highest 4-star damage.
If she's 4th, then she sucks. What? Why are you saying 4th? Like, just say she's the worst damage dealer. There's probably like 3.
Damage to my mental health. Rover is a solid damage dealer and unironically a good character, unlike 99% of gacha game MCs.
He says this, but then like when Wuthering comes out in like the first patch, when like the first banner comes out, is gonna be insane damage dealers. Like, oh no, all these are
S4, if you know what that means. The best way to describe Yang Yang is AoE grouping and faster ultimates for your team. And the second best way to describe her is girl that is incredibly fast for wearing a pencil skirt. Midriff is the epitome of American spirit. She has a gun, but not only that, she also has a gun.
A gun.
Fights easier when you suck at close combat. Not that that will save you since some of the bosses literally teleport to you. Discord mod may look
what?
Combat. Not that that will save you since some of the bosses literally teleport to you. Discord mod may look cringe, but he's also cool if you can get past the fedora and if you're a Discord mod. And lastly, you have Baiji, who covers healing for you with her white lapras.
Healing is actually kind of funny. I just noticed. Pretty big.
In this game is optional, since the only point of HP that matters is the one keeping you from beating God. Free-to-play cast is incredibly strong, but honestly, it doesn't even matter
until the first patch, and then they all get power crip. The first 2 patches, and they all get power crip.
Damage they do relative to each other, because the only matters more than staying alive is the Tower of Adversity. This game mode usually has a bunch of enemies to defeat in a certain time
Spiral
period, and
Abyss.
if you don't meet it, you lose. It's a lot like the hologram boss fights if you didn't die from breathing in the wrong direction. The hologram boss fights are incredibly fun and test your ability to improvise, adapt, and overcome against a sequence of boss attacks and mechanics that only increase in number as you go higher in level. To give you context, players have been able to beat the level 70 bosses since level 40 with a solo 4-star character.
Damn.
So that should give you an idea of how much skill plays into it. With the game being so based on your ability to parry, dodge, and pull off the right combo, it makes your actual character roster feel like it doesn't matter as much as how good you are at the game. Well, either that, or you just play Danjin, who seems to be massively overtuned. Don't tell the developers I said that, though. Imagine a 4-star character that you get on a random 10 pull on the beginner banner being stronger than some of the 5 stars. Some people will argue that her HP cost is what makes playing her risky,
actually.
and I would agree with that, if
Until,
everything in the game didn't already one-shot you.
So that one
Dungeon
patch
is
that made it
super
better.
strong, so for free-to-play
Aggravate.
players, you not only have
That's
an
what it is.
insane free-to-play roster, but you also have other 4-stars in your corner that make it so you don't have to pull any 5-stars. Not that that's gonna stop you from pulling for her. And keep in mind, this is
Until.
based
Anyways.
off of beta 2, and things could change from now to launch, but just knowing
They're
Kuro,
gonna
I
change.
don't really think they would do that. If you do invest in strong characters and build them up,
They're
you'll
gonna
definitely
change.
make the game easier though. To be honest, I'd be more worried if that wasn't really the case, but I don't think you have much to worry about. Because the game is skill-based, you don't have to be too reliant on RNG gearing systems to make it through most of the game, but that won't stop you from doing it anyways. The Echo system, in my opinion, is one of the coolest systems in any gacha game, combining the idea of creature collectors with a post-apocalyptic setting to make the ultimate mix of fast-paced combat and down horrendous R34. When you defeat an enemy in the overworld, they can drop echoes, and these echoes have
What are
2 main
echoes?
stats and a rarity that depicts
I've
how
heard like that. I only heard like just about the echoes from the event that's going on right now. From Wuthering Waves, the echo event that you can do before the game comes out or something. It gives you like a 5-star pull, I think, or like a 10 pull, something like that.
well the stat actually scales.
Go back.
These echoes have 2 main stats and a rarity that depicts how well the stat actually scales. Your purple tier echoes are going to have higher stats and level caps than your green tier echoes. Now, aside from
Obviously.
your drive to complete the national Pokédex, there's a good reason to collect them all. Some are locked to specific main stats, but the main reason to go for them is to enhance your druidic abilities. You can slot 1 main echo per character, and that lets you use its specific ability on command, allowing you to make your character build
Oh, let me see. Transform to Cyan Feather Heron. Launch a spinning charge, causing arrow damage, and breaking the enemy special skill. Arrow damage. Is that the
echo per
wind damage?
character, and that lets you use its specific ability on command.
Summon Whiff Wop to detonate, causing arrow damage and create a low pressure area to gather enemies. Oh, that's Kazuha.
Allowing you to make your character builds
I'm starting to think this game is just a rip-off of Genshin Impact. They just have Kazuha's skill right there.
more unique. And you can do this. Due to how
That's
swapping
sick.
in this game works, with a lot of echoes, you can still get their effects or damage whenever you swap off. It's like adding 3 more teammates to your team. For example, I can equip this monkey that I nicknamed Harambe, and when I swap mid-fight, he continues to smack the shit out of the boss. The way equipment works in this game is that you have 12 points
That's
to
just a
spend
good
on
echo.
echoes, and early on in the game you'll only have 10. And each echo costs a certain amount of points to equip. The cost to equip usually depends on the stats, and certain stats cost more than others. That said, the better stats are usually tied to bosses, so in a way, it gives you a little bit of modularity, but can also make building
So it
characters
gives a reason to farm bosses then. Or more reason?
confusing. There's 2-piece and 5-piece sets, and I really wish they were just 2 and 4, personally. Having an off-piece is really important. The set effects are fixed to some echoes, and while I don't know all the ins and outs of all the sets and stats of echoes, I do know that echoes are infinitely farmable. So if you're looking for a
What?
specific echo with the right set or main stat, you can run around your world, defeat all of the monsters,
Is there like no equivalent of like stamina in the game, like in Honkai with the fuel, and then Genshin and like with the what's it called, the fragile resin? You can just infinitely farm without using up your stamina, or just wait, or like, or maybe it's different from like the bosses in Honkai, whatever. You only have 3. You can only do 3 a week. Is that how it works?
and then hop into co-op and defeat all of those too. It's only once you have the right main stat that you fall into the deepest depths of despair. Like in some other gacha games, your echoes have substats that can affect how powerful the echo actually is. Unfortunately, the substats are random, and there are more substat possibilities in this game than
Who
there are
would've
GN
guessed?
Sims on Twitter. And you have to invest a bunch of resources into an echo before you can find out how strong that echo actually is.
Viable?
Now, on the bright side of that,
Okay.
you can pull out of an echo
Yo, Why is that
strong that
sub?
Echo
Why is those
actually
stats are kind of nutty?
is. Now on the
Crit rate, attack, crit rate. Are these the main stats? You can have 2 main stats? What? Crit rate, attack.
right side of that, you can
Am I
pull out of
stupid?
an Echo before
Although
investing
does
too many
Honkai and
resources.
Genshin
So
have that, or
if
am I
you don't
dumb?
hit the stat that you want in the first 2 rolls, you can just move to the next one. I think the Echo system is incredibly unique and an amazing spin on creating new and flexible combat abilities. But I do hope that if we can infinitely farm Echoes, the team will add some new ways to roll substats that are less resource intensive. Right now, players who pay will have more opportunities to roll substats based on how much they're willing to refill their daily stamina, which at this point is also a staple of gacha games. Also, please
Okay,
spawn
so
more
they're
things in the overworld.
okay. So I think I know what you're talking. The bosses you can only do 3 a week. Okay, that's
The in-game
infinite.
Echo Gacha is hit or miss based off of your luck. But what about the in-game Gacha? One of the best things about free-to-play games is that you don't have to pay as long as you're in it for the long haul. I already spoke about how strong the free-to-play characters are on this game, but obviously since this is a gacha game, some of the coolest, hottest, most badass, hottest, strongest, hottest designs are going to be 5-star characters. Are they achievable?
Go back. Holy. You see that? See that jiggle?
Hottest, most badass, hottest, strongest, strongest, design, strongest, five, designs are going to be 5-star characters. Are they achievable for
What was I doing?
players? Well, I can't really promise how many pulls you'll get, but I can tell you about the gacha pity system. There are 4 banners in this game as of CBT2. Well, technically 5 if you count the beginner banner. The beginner banner is for new accounts, and it guarantees you get a standard 5-star character within 50 pulls.
That's pretty cool.
Standard stuff.
Just like
but
other
it's worth
gacha
knowing
games?
that this girl right here, she's kind of busted, and if they don't dial her back for release, she's probably going to be your reroll target. You also have the
Really?
standard banner, which has its own pull
That
currency
dumb little girl?
separately from
Really?
the worth knowing that this girl right here, she's kind of
Why is she
busted, and
busted?
if they don't dial her back for release, she's probably going to be your reroll target. You also have the standard banner, which has its own
You're
pull
gonna have to reroll for her.
currency separately
I don't
from
think Tectone's gonna like that you reroll for a lolly.
limited and weapon banners. You also have a limited character banner with a pity of 80, but a 50-50 chance of getting the character you're pulling for. What I'm really focused on though are the 2 other banners, the standard weapon banner and the limited weapon banner. The standard weapon banner has a hard pity of 80 and lets you choose a target to roll for, and that target is guaranteed
Home of a staff of homeless.
when
I
you roll a
think that's what it's
5-star,
called.
meaning that you can choose which weapon you
Tectone, we love you for this. Other gacha games are seeing this.
actually get from
And
the
actually
standard
learning.
banner. But to be honest, knowing Kuro Game, I wouldn't be surprised if they just straight up gave us a 5-star weapon. Oh wait, I didn't mention that part, did I? When you hit rank
What?
45, you get a free 5-star weapon in the beta.
It's pretty sick. Holy base head.
Don't really see a reason for them
Fully
to remove
based.
that from the live game. Because if you think about it,
wish they
during
don't.
a beta, you can either give players the raw game experience or give them all the tools to experience the game, such as all the characters and high-level stuff. Since they're giving us the raw game experience in CBT2, it would be really strange of them to throw a
said
free
CBD.
5-star weapon at us at a high level if they weren't going to give us more things to test in the first place. So I'm a firm believer that the selector is staying in the game and that we'll get to choose a free 5-star weapon. The limited weapon banner is also insanely good value in my opinion, since it has the same
Ringmaster.
pity as the standard weapon banner. But unlike the limited character banner, it has a
Why does this remind me? Why does this weapon remind me of that one Yu-Gi-Oh card? Oh god, what is that Yu-Gi-Oh card? Yu-Gi-Oh. Puppet. Nope. I don't see it. Anyway, she looks like that. Or this weapon
the
does.
same pity as the standard weapon banner. But unlike the limited character banner, it has a guarantee to give you the weapon you're rolling for, and I will be pulling on it for Mother. Oh, it is so tough being F2P. If you're like me, you've probably spent all of your college loans on 7 copies of Yinli. You probably have a lot of the premium shop
The awful thing, she's gonna get power crap.
loans on 7 copies
She's
of
gonna get
Yinli.
power
You
crap. I
probably
already
have a
know it.
lot of the premium shop
Everyone knows
currency
it.
after you've done that too. And why would you keep it when you could use it to buy 2 more copies of Yinli? You can buy wave bands for characters in the premium currency shop. So saving for your favorite characters' copies isn't actually that egregious and saves you a ton of premium currency. The fact that you can buy character copies in the shop is absolutely huge because any player, including free-to-play players, will eventually get to the point where
So
they'll
they're
be
doing
able
a
to grab
mileage
a
shop.
copy of their favorite character. To my knowledge,
Sweet.
this only works after you have the first copy of the character, so you still will have to pull them, but the fact that you can get access to their higher level
It's a mileage
abilities
shop.
as a result of getting extra
It's
copies of them
a
is
light
pretty
mileage
cool. Now
shop.
at the end of the day, this This game
LTE
is a
mileage
gacha
stop.
game, and it's predatory in the same way that every other gacha game is. But at least compared to other gacha games and other gacha
It's not predatory because I'm pulling for my wife, my long lost wife. That's why it's not predatory.
game companies, Kuro Game does have a very nice grasp on creating a free-to-play friendly environment that rewards players' time and effort. The ecosystem could be improved on to make it cost less resources to roll for substats, or make those resources more plentiful in the first place. But in the classic Kuro Game fashion, people have been clearing insanely hard bosses on the second closed beta with the equivalent of a wet napkin. Combine that with a strong free-to-play cast, a skill-based game, and generous rewards, and things are looking pretty good for Wuthering Waves. So it's safe to say
like
that
it might be
Wuthering Waves is going to be
pretty
free-to-play
good
friendly, unless you
now.
have skill issue.
Stop. That was a great video. By Waxophone. This one. This guy.
Click the link to pre-register for Wuthering Waves down
You're
below.
welcome for the extra view. I think that's how that works. We click those. Alright.
Bye.
See you later.
later.
That was a great video.